Hello everyone, my name is Titus and welcome to my first GeoGuessr video on this channel. So today I was doing some GeoGuessr duels and I came across what I believe is the first cheater I've encountered who seemed to be using outside resources to help him, which I didn't realize during the game, but after I went back and watched the replay from his side of things and seeing the methods he was using and like how long he was stopping at certain scenarios, which I'll go into later. It seemed very suspicious. But I wanted to show you first my side of things, show you my perspective, and tell you everything that I was thinking through to find out where I was, and then show you his side of things and the way and why I think he was probably cheating. So first of all, we can get started with my side of things and my perspective. I'm a very amateur GeoGuessr player. I know a few basic metas, but often I'm just looking for script like this, like Taiwanese, which well, it turned out to be Taiwanese. I didn't know if it was Japanese or not. But I found this script, and I zoom into Taiwan here because it does look more like Taiwanese script than Japanese. So I decided to just, and my opponent also guessed pretty early, so I just decided to go with Taiwan, and I didn't know where. I just hoped for the best, and it turned out to be pretty close, luckily. So I get 200 points off of my opponent here, and we move on to round 2. But yeah, my guesses are pretty basic, and as you will see in this round, when I make a pretty big blunder, yeah, I don't know a lot of locations very well. I see some signs here on the side of the road. This is very interesting, this sign was, which kind of led me to make my educated guess, but it just was educated with the wrong stuff. You see Australian here, so I thought, is it on Australia? But I'm like, okay, that's not right, because the script up here doesn't look Australian. And then I see .php at the bottom, so I think, aha, I found it. It's the Philippines. Not sure what the .php thing was about, but it's not Philippines, it turns out, unfortunately. I didn't know what language the script was, but I actually, yeah, I guess first. Unfortunately, my opponent knew where this was. He found a sign that said exactly where it was. It was the capital of Bhutan, Thimphu, which Thimphu is actually on the sign I was looking at, but I had no idea where Thimphu was. Do not have my country capitals memorized, unfortunately. So he takes a very sizable lead going into round 3. My immediate thoughts on this place were, okay, I see yellow double yellow lines, so we're probably going to be in the U.S. So just going down the street looking for information, I see it's a much warmer climate than most of the U.S. A lot of palm trees, so my immediate thought was Southern California, because it looked maybe slightly Mexican. That was just what I was thinking. Maybe that's wrong, but, well, I mean, it was wrong. So I just go looking for a lot of information for a while, and I'm seeing a lot of, like, Spanish script, and, like, just a lot of Spanish words on these buildings. Then I turn to the side and I see Miami Elite Barber. So I'm like, okay, this has to just be Miami then, right? I was still not completely sure, but I had seen places like this be in Florida before, so I'm like, okay. If you look at the left of the screen, my opponent says GG. Yeah, he says GG because he thought the game was over. But I did find Miami, thankfully. He's slightly closer than me, so a little bit of damage there, but pretty negligible. But moving on to round 4, this is where things get interesting, especially when you see it from his perspective. But I see Arabic script, so I immediately know we're going to be in some Arabic country. I believe my first thought was Tunisia. I'm not sure why. That was because I don't know Middle Eastern countries very well. I can't region guess them very well. So unless I find like a city name or a country name, I'm pretty much lost here. Like, I don't know where I am. Luckily enough, this bus here, which I did take a look at, says Dubai on it. And from a Rainbow video, actually, that I had watched recently, I knew that Dubai is in the UAE. So I zoom into Dubai and plunk there pretty quickly, putting pressure on my opponent. We will look at his perspective soon enough on this round, which was pretty hilarious. But he does not find Dubai or UAE. He ends up plonking in Lebanon. So I was very, very close and do a lot of damage to him. So we are almost even. He's just a little bit ahead of me now. My confidence is up. I was happy about that round. Round 5. Immediately start looking at this sign, and I see .cl at the bottom. But this looks European to me, so I'm thinking, like, I don't know what CL stands for. Then I see Santiago at the top. I'm like, okay, I know where Santiago is, or I thought I did. I thought it might be in Spain. Then I realized, no, Santiago's in Chile. That's what the CL stands for. So I quickly switch gears, zoom into Santiago. I'm thinking maybe my opponent won't see this, but I guess, and he guesses like immediately after. So we both get Santiago, both like right next to each other. Once again, very negligible damage. So, yeah, moving on to round 6. I was happy with that I was able to locate Santiago though. So looking around, I look at these signs over here. I want to get the language. I see French, or what I think is French. So I'm immediately thinking this is probably going to be somewhere in France. Just skipping here because I'm looking around for quite a lot of these signs. I'm not sure what it was that clued me off. Maybe it was just some of the language. Maybe it was one building in particular I saw. But now I'm thinking more Switzerland. I saw something that clued me off to it was Switzerland. Maybe it was this building here that said Credit Suisse on it. Either way, I did zoom into Switzerland, but hedged toward France because I did see some French language. So I felt pretty good about this, and so I went ahead for the guess and thought I might have an edge here on my opponent. But it turns out it was just in the city of Geneva, which my opponent was able to locate. So some decent damage here, about half of my health, so I only have 500 health left. So I'm definitely at a disadvantage, but it's not impossible. On to round 7. Looking at the sign immediately here, I see UK.UK, so I know it's United Kingdom, but like I have no idea where this is. I'm trying to get some information from the signs, but I can't find like a specific city name. So I'm looking around, seeing if I can find anything. My opponent guesses pretty quickly here. Yeah, so he guesses, and I have no clue. I see like Meheffen, but I don't know where Meheffen is, so I go a little north of London. Turns out it was in this city called Cardiff, which my opponent was able to locate. So he takes the win, and I was very impressed. I thought he played very well, so I gave him a GG, and he gave me one too. So, you know, good sportsmanship all around. I thought it went pretty well. But looking at it from his side of things will provide a lot more information into what his actual thought processes were. So now, on to my opponent's perspective. Immediately after the game, I went to look at the replay on the last round because I was very impressed with him being able to find Cardiff in the UK so quickly. So I immediately went to his perspective and saw him looking around here at the different buildings. Eventually he does turn around and look at the signs, and this is where he finds the .uk and the sign that does say Cardiff on it. And so he zooms in and finds Cardiff fairly quickly and plonks it. So yeah, I was very impressed when I saw that. Had no suspicions whatsoever that he could be cheating. Like at this point, I just thought he played a good game. That was until I think round 4 was the next one I checked out. This was the one that was in Dubai because I wanted to see. I had found Dubai, he hadn't. He plonked in Lebanon. I wanted to see like why he did that, what he saw. Immediately he zooms into this Gulu Dadas restaurant. I mean, you see the Arabic script. You know it's going to be in some Middle Eastern country, right? However, upon further research, he's just sitting here, first of all, looking at it, presumably. Or More likely, he was looking up this Gulu Dadas restaurant. I'm probably horribly mispronouncing that, by the way. Anyway, the first thing that comes up when you research this restaurant is a place in Hyderabad, India, which of course makes no sense because this is the Middle East, right? And he knows that. He knows it's the Middle East. But Hyderabad is what comes up when you put this in. So, as you can see in the bottom right corner, he's going to zoom in to India and look at Hyderabad. And then I guess, so he knows, okay, that's ridiculous. It can't be Hyderabad. So he goes and he decides to go to Lebanon because he doesn't know where in the world, in the Middle East, this is. So yeah, when I saw this and I did the research, I'm thinking, okay, this is ridiculous. He has to be cheating, right? If he, like, there's no reason for him to zoom into India or Hyderabad at all. Like, there's no reason other than he looked it up and he saw that. So yeah, I'm very much suspicious at this point. But I wanted to look at the other rounds to sort of corroborate this to see if he really was cheating, because I don't want to just immediately accuse someone without more information. So this is the Miami round. You can see later on in the round, like halfway through, he looks at this van and he sits here for a while, maybe looking up like the company name to see where it is. I don't know. But he does sit here looking at this van for a while. Eventually he finds this like conference or performance center at some point, Marlins Park, Bobby Maduro entrance. But yeah, this ends up looking very suspicious because he sits here looking at it for like 20 seconds, and then just like near the end of the round, he immediately starts zooming in right to Miami. Where before it seemed as if he had no idea where it was, now he sees this, sits there for 20 seconds, immediately zooms into Miami. Once again, it's just looking very suspicious. Thankfully, I was able to find the Miami sign because, you remember he sent me that GG message like the game was over. But thankfully, I was able to keep it alive and have that hilarious round 4, which clearly showed that he was cheating. Otherwise, maybe it would have gone unnoticed. This round, round 5, is also pretty funny because, so remember, this is the Santiago round, where this sign here said .cl on it, said Santiago at the top. That's how I find it so quickly. This guy is on another level, though. He's brilliant. He knows exactly where this restaurant is just by looking at it. He just looks at the restaurant name, looks at the building, and he just looks at it, of course, for a few seconds, just sitting there, analyzing, very intellectually. Yeah, and then he zooms in right to Santiago. He's brilliant. He's actually just a genius. So yeah, obviously, probably using some outside source to help him find that restaurant, which is just funny to me. Looking at the early rounds, Taiwan here, there was nothing suspicious that I saw in this first round. I mean, he can't look up anything because it's in Taiwanese, and he is not Taiwanese. So yeah, that one wasn't really anything. Round 2, this is the one where I made the big blunder in Bhutan. He actually is able to locate pretty quickly this sign that says Thimphu, Bhutan. But get this, he sits there for about 30 seconds and does nothing. Why is he doing this? Okay, my guess is this guy's so bad at geography and GeoGuessr that he doesn't even know where Bhutan is. And he doesn't know that Thimphu is the capital. He's just sitting there looking it up on the internet because he doesn't know where the heck it is. So while I'm frantically looking for information and so confidently plonk in the Philippines, he's looking up where Bhutan is because he doesn't know. Then I guess, then a couple seconds later, finally, he zooms into Bhutan, finds Thimphu, plonks it there. Yeah, that's just really funny to me, that he just sat there and didn't know, indicating he probably isn't even good at geography. I mean, okay, he had the really good round 7, which he didn't seem to be cheating on, so maybe I'm just wrong about that, but he didn't know where Bhutan was, it seems. So, anyway, this is the last round that we'll look at, round 6. He zooms in immediately to this company, so this is the one in Geneva, Switzerland. This is a Swiss watch company, it turns out, located in Geneva. So he just sits there looking at it for a while, indicating he might be looking it up, and so maybe finding Geneva. But he doesn't guess for a while. He keeps looking around for more information. But eventually, after I guess, he just goes straight to Geneva, like he knew where it was. So in at least a few of these rounds, it seems pretty clear that he was cheating, he was using outside resources. That's not official, like I am planning on reporting him to GeoGuessr, but that's not, the official ruling as of yet. That just seems pretty clear to me, that that's what's going on. So, let me know what you think. I had fun with this round, honestly. I thought I held up pretty well against someone who was cheating. I held my own. I found good information. So I was happy with my performance, and I learned some things. And hopefully this guy will stop. He might get banned before he can, but he'll probably just make another account. Hopefully he stops. But yeah, this was fun for me. Good experience. I don't know if I'll make more GeoGuessr videos like this. I guess like and comment if you want me to. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I just thought this was a fun video to share. So I will see you all in the next one.